Jackie Dean.
Mr. Speaker, I reckon the people of Christchurch would be much better off if they didn't have naysaying politicians running the city down all the time. The fact is that this national government has poured not only billions and billions of dollars into Christchurch and the people of Christchurch, but has poured its heart and soul into the rebuild of Christchurch. I applaud what our ministers in this government are doing for the people of Christchurch, and we will begin to see, as time goes on, the economic benefits that will come with the Christchurch rebuild. Mr. Speaker, this Parliament has one would-be Finance Minister who can't do the maths, one would-be Finance Minister who thinks that printing money is the way to economic progress, and thankfully for the people of New Zealand, one actual Finance Minister with a clear program to build sustainable growth based on savings, productive investment and exports. And at the same time, under Bill English as Finance Minister, we have moved away from the debt, the property speculation and excessive government spending that marked the 9 years of the previous Labour government. Mr. Speaker, National is focused on building a more competitive and productive economy. That is essential if businesses are to have the confidence to invest in growth and to invest in jobs. Alongside this, we are responsibly managing the government's finances, delivering better public services, and just while I'm on that, we had the financial reviews for the Department of Corrections and Police today, and the Labour, well, how did that go? That's a good question, because for the time set down for both of those financial hearings, the Labour opposition were out to lunch. New Zealand First weren't there. The Greens, I think, offered one contribution, and I had to let the Police Commissioner go after 35 minutes because the opposition had run out of steam. But it was an opportunity once again for Peter Marshall, the Commissioner of Police, and Ray Smith of Corrections to show what a good job those two departments are doing for the people of New Zealand. They should be congratulated for working within budget and providing better public services. That is exactly what this government is about. But, Mr. Speaker, I now want to talk about building the economy. And so the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit movies brought extraordinary opportunities and colour and life to Wellington and New Zealand, both in jobs and investment and the creation of a wonderful film industry for New Zealand. Plenty of work for actors. The Hobbit haters over the side did go to the premiere. Good on them. They have obviously no shame. But, Mr. Speaker, it is not just the big projects in the big centres that are building the economy in New Zealand and are so very important. And the Junior Whip yawns. The Junior Whip doesn't get it. Once again, the Labour Junior Whip, this is all too big for him. The Junior Whip doesn't get it. Yes, I think...
point of order, Honourable Trevor Mallett.
Mr. Speaker, I think we're sick of the ageist contributions from the former Play School presenter. I think she needs to get into the present when she's in the House and to refer to the Senior Whip by that title.
It's barely a point of order, but it just is, in that appropriate nomenclatures should be used. Jackie Dean.
Oh, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to address the big issues that are facing New Zealand today. And if the Junior Whip wants to have a bedtime story, he can turn to his colleague, who I'm sure will read him something at about the level that he understands. And so, Mr. Speaker, in my own part of New Zealand, there are some fantastic initiatives underway, providing enormous economic benefit both to the local region and also to wider New Zealand. I want to talk about irrigation, something about which I am hugely enthusiastic and supportive. The face of South Canterbury, North Otago and Central Otago has been transformed with irrigation. Jobs have been created both locally and further afield. There are skills in those towns now which emptied out in the 80s, and generally there is a sense of buoyancy in those regions which were, for the support of government and the Irrigation Investment Fund, simply wouldn't be there. It is a good news story for my my region. I support it and I applaud it. Mr Speaker, well, of course, our own senior whip, excellent senior whip, says, what about the cycle trails? Well, the Central Otago rail trail, they laugh at that over the other side of the House. They don't get regional development. They don't get that $7 million is introduced into the local economy because of the Otago Central Rail Trail every year. Small businesses are being established. In fact, there's a brand new cafe in Ophir. I recommend it to anybody travelling through for its excellent coffee. Mr Speaker, this is good news for New Zealand.
The time for this debate has expired. Call private and local order of the day number 1.